Hello everyone and welcome to fw454 Fishery Biology. My name is Dr. Alyssa Rickborn and I'll be your instructor in this course. The purpose of this short video is to provide you with a little bit of information of what we're going to do in this course, and I'd like to highlight some examples of how I have used some of the principles and topics we're going to cover in my own real-life research and work. I began my career as a fishery biologist during my master's program at Boston University. So during my master's, I studied this little fish over here. This is Elacatinus lori, the line snout goby. This little fish lives in corals and sponges along the Belizean Barrier Reef. Here's where I conducted most of my master's research. So this is the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute, not a bad place to work, right? Surrounded by palm trees and beautiful clear blue water. I spent most of my 3 years of my master's program here. So during my master's, I described the life history transitions of Elacatinus lori, including size and age at settlement, size and age at maturity, size distribution, gonad histology, and sex change patterns. So this data was critical because it allowed managers to develop Elacatinus lori as a model for population connectivity along the Belizean Barrier Reef. So using this little fish, we were able to tell where reef-associated fish came from, where they were going to, and what areas of the reef may be more important to manage more closely. I continued my career as a fisheries biologist by completing a PhD at Oregon State University in the lab of Dr. Bruce Mengi. There, I studied how climate change impacted our local coastal ecosystems. Inspired by my PhD research, I then went on to work for the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife as a marine fishery biologist. At ODF&W, my main job was designing and implementing surveys to assess the distribution abundance of rockfish. So right here, this is a black rockfish. Rockfish are super important fishery on the Oregon coast. However, we lack some critical data that would really help fisheries managers better manage rockfish species. So specifically, we don't know how many rockfish there are, where they are, and where they're being caught. So as a fishery biologist, I designed and implemented surveys to answer those questions. This data that I collected is now being used by fisheries managers to help regulate and manage black rockfish. So I've briefly highlighted some of my own experiences, and now I want to highlight some things we're going to cover in the course that I have used in my own research and work. So some course learning outcomes that are related to what I just talked about. During this course, you will learn to calculate fecundity, age at maturity, and stock recruitment relationships. So very similar to what I did with Elacatinus lori in Belize. You will learn to analyze fisheries data to estimate growth rates, mortality rates, and generate population estimates. So again, using that fisheries data to generate population estimates is a really critical, important part of managing fish. You'll explain the purpose of conducting biological assessments of fish populations. You'll learn to assess freshwater and marine habitat as it relates to managing healthy fisheries. So again, explaining where and why fish are living where they're living. And lastly, we'll apply knowledge of species-specific life history and behavior traits to management. So again, this is very similar to what I did with black rockfish and Elacatinus lori in Belize. And it's an essential part of working as a fishery biologist or in management and conservation. So I've briefly went over some things we're going to learn in the course that I think are especially important if you're looking towards becoming a fishery biologist or even working in a graduate program that would require those skills. However, I would like you to tell me what you would like to get out of this course. So your first assignment posted on Canvas, I would like you to provide your preferred name and pronouns, the degree you are seeking, and a short description of your career goals and what you hope to learn in this course. Again, my name is Dr. Alyssa Rickborn, and you can contact me on Canvas or by email. Thank you.